welcome to Moose TV. It's Ethan, and this is the first video of the year. And as a gift, we have a new member, Josh.
Hi.
Today we're at Heckler Mining Company, so enjoy the video.
Hey guys, it's me Thomas. Long time no see. I missed you. Today our school brought us on a field trip to go and see some mine sites for an assignment that is coming up. Today our guide is Andy Helke, and he is the Bunker Hill Remediation Manager. And, remediation meaning reversing or stopping environmental damage. And I will let Andy Helke take the stage and tell you what they are doing.
This is our central treatment plant. It's been in operation since 1974, and it was originally built by Bunker Hill Mine. One of the problems Bunker Hill Mine has with it is they mine too close to the surface, so they have a lot of groundwater intrusion into it. Right now, there's 24 levels of the mine below ground surface, and it's flooded out to a level 10. So 14 levels of the mine, the whole bottom portion is actually entirely flooded out. So we have about 2.6 million gallons of water that comes out of that mine every day that we treat to this plant. And it has a pH about 2.4, which is acidic enough. I think I might have told you it'll take the hair right off your legs or your arms if you put it in that water. So what happens with the water is it actually comes into this first building over here. This is what we call the reactor. It comes into the reactor and actually it's water's so acidic, these two silos here are full of lime. So we have a lime feed that pumps lime over into that reactor, brings the pH up to about 7.6, neutralizes that. And those two round tanks that we passed, so we're driving in, those are what are called clarifiers. So it goes from the reactor into one clarifier where we add what's called a flocculant. That flocculant precipitates out the heavy metals and also the total suspended solids that are in that. The bottom of those clarifiers is a cone shape. So as those solids settle out, they fall into that cone, it becomes sludge. And we collect that at the bottom. And the water goes to the other clarifier, repeats the same process, but all that sludge actually goes into a tank, and on top of this big mound over here, we have 3 sludge impoundment ponds that will allow us to store sludge for 30 years. What we generate here. It's pumped all the way up there. But right now what we're actually doing is working with Bunker Hill Mine because they're trying to reopen. One of the things they need to do when they reopen is they need to dewater that mine. So we're pumping even more water over here. As they dewater that, they start mining. They're going to start taking their waste material that they generate, and then also our sludge that we have. We'll mix that together with cement. And the idea is we'll pump it back into the mine shafts that are existing that are there, start sealing those off, to stop that groundwater retreat. Environmentally, over the long term, that's the best thing we can do is we can stop that groundwater from coming in so that we don't have to treat all this water. Bunker Hill Mine, just to give you an idea of the complexity of mining, they pay us about $90,000 a month to treat their water. We upgraded this plant 2 years ago. Even though the plant was here, the upgrade alone was $52 million. This plant right now, in all, costs about $2.3 million annually to operate, and that will probably go up exponentially this year because of the inflation. We've seen our cost for pouring go up 40%, our lime cost go up 40%. Electricity is going up. We'll probably be close to 2.7, 2.8 million within another year, even though we're doing the same process.
After this, we took a short drive to the actual site of the mine. Unfortunately, we could not enter it, but Andy Helke did give us some information about its past and its future.
Bunker Hill Mine. So, mines aren't super exciting. About the only thing you have above ground is usually like their mill building. Even the tram that takes everything below ground is actually underground. You go into a big tunnel right back up here called the Kellogg Tunnel that goes back through there and actually comes out the other side of the hill. There's a little town on the other side of this ridge called Wardner. They used to open that up on the weekends so people could travel back and forth to go to the grocery store because it was quicker to walk through the tunnel, the 1.2 miles, than it was to walk all the way down and around to get into town. You go in here, this is considered level 9, then you drop those 24 levels down, go down to over 4,000 feet here. To get any equipment into these mines is actually pretty interesting. Back in the day when it was just miners and their equipment down in there, they didn't have to make those shafts and tunnels very big. Now they do everything with vehicles that are called muckers. When they get those muckers, they actually have to cut them up into pieces with torches, disassemble them entirely into pieces that they can fit inside that shaft that the tram goes down, drop them down in, and then rebuild them entirely. I mean, even when they buy a brand new piece of equipment, as soon as they get it on site, they cut it into little tiny pieces, take all the wheels, take the motor out of it, everything, take it apart, lower it down in there, and then reassemble the entire thing. This day and age, they'd find a better way to do that, and that's why they're looking at going to things where they're going to be more robotic. They're probably going to be water operated, so they don't have any kind of petroleum exhaust and stuff like that down there. Bunker's kind of a unique mine too, because it is all naturally ventilated. Most all the other mines around here have air conditioning where they vent everything down in. Bunker is naturally ventilated. It's considered a non-ventilated mine. Just to give you an idea, these guys that bought it now, they acquired it about 2 years ago and have been in the process of reopening it. So one of the things they've started doing is working with us to get the process started so that they can dewater that mine and get more water to our treatment plant. And then they're also rebuilding all the infrastructure here. So some of the things they've had to do is upgrade the entire electrical system. They're estimating their cost to reopen this mine is probably going to be over $100 million. Right now they have 2.4 billion in known reserves, and actually probably have more than that because they're just looking at what Bunker Hill had when they closed the mine in the 80s, but they knew they had at that time. So they've got an active drilling program going right now trying to identify more reserves to show that they can keep this mine operating even longer. With that 2.4 billion reserves, they figure they have probably about a 20-year lifespan right now once they get the mine dewatered and up and running. So in that 2 years, they've redone the electrical. They're actually actively mining right now. They don't have a mill. They're getting ready to deconstruct these buildings that are here right now. They're going to tear those down starting in October and then build all new mill buildings. So hopefully by this time next year, they'd have a new mill. Right now, they have a deal with the Lucky Friday mine, which is up in Mullen. So they ship all the ore that they're taking out from here all the way up there, and Lucky Friday's processing it there in their mill, and then from their mill it actually goes all the way up to Trail, BC, to the plant up there for final product. This mine has a number of things. The main thing they're going after right now is zinc. Then after that would be lead, and then silver after that. Bunker did produce quite a bit of silver, but it doesn't have as high a grade of silver ore as most of the other mines in the valley do. It was mainly a lead and zinc mine. Bunker Hill actually invented the process to provide a process and make what they call 99.99% pure zinc. It was developed here in the Silver Valley, and that's still used worldwide. So that's mainly what they're going after here. They do run into other things. There's mineral bodies that are called pyromorphite that they run into every once in a while. When they get that stuff, it has very high value. They can sometimes hit a pyromorphite vein and have $1 million right there, just in that. So, you do get some gold out of these mines too, but not a whole lot.
After this, we took a short drive to our final destination where there was a shooting range where, fun fact about me, I shot an M240 Bravo there. Just so you know, if you hear gunshots, it's from the range. Andy told us about a zinc plant that used to be there and the lead smelter. Also, I'm sorry about the audio. A lot of people were talking during this, so it's kind of hard to hear him.
Foundation to the old zinc plant. And what you had up here was a zinc plant, you had the cadmium plant, phosphoric acid plant, and a sulfuric acid plant, and then the lead smelter sat right at the base of this draw down here. The stack for the zinc plant right here was right on top of this hill, and it was 715 feet tall at the time when it was standing there. 715. Wow. And when they blew it, they dropped it, and then right on the other side of this hill is now Galena Ridge Golf Course. That smokestack actually is buried underneath one of the golf greens on the other side there. This here was pretty much one of the highest grossing industrial complexes in the entire United States at a point in time. Wow. And now you basically have nothing left here. What you're looking at right now, this whole flat that we're looking down, this all about 3 years ago was 25 to 30 feet lower. With all the construction projects we had over here with the paved roads and sewer projects and stuff, we generated so much waste. We actually could have fit the amount of material we're generating each year into our normal repository. So this property here was all so low that we have water and sewer going down this road, but you couldn't build anything in there because you couldn't get gravity to the water and sewer. So we actually brought all the waste from our construction projects, it's all contaminated, brought it back in here, compacted it so it's construction grade fill, and then put a clean cap across the top of it. And now we'll put it back up for sale so that we can start getting this property back in the tax roll and generating money. One of the ideas with that is the state actually owns all this property. When we sell it, we put the money we generate back into our cleanup fund to keep maintaining this site. It's one of the unique things about this site is the economics involved with it. Because all of these communities around here are required for maintaining these barriers to protect public health. So to do that, they have to improve the economy and increase their tax rolls. The state works with all the cities around here very closely on economic development and trying to improve the local economy.
Could you re-specify what this site was and what it was used for again?
This foundation is the old zinc plant foundation. So it was processed, the zinc plant.
Zinc plant?
That's where they process the zinc.
So they process zinc ore. Thank you.
Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little about something new. Thanks to Andy Helke for taking the time out of his busy day to tell us about this stuff. Have a good day. Moose TV signing out.